Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Form of Therapy. My name is Teok PD, and today on the Culture Study, I'm going to be reacting to something that has been fervently requested by my listeners and viewers over on Patreon. So, I'm checking out the debut of a brand new girl group. They're called, in Korean, just simply Hatu Obu Umon, or Heart of Woman, with their debut music video 나를 잊지 않는 방법, Lost in Proof. Now, the Korean title and English title do not match up. To translate it literally, it would be the way or method in which not to lose me. And grammatically, it's a little tough. It's not one of those things that translates one to one. But think of it like this: 방법 means method, or kind of like, I think method is pretty much the only word I can really think of. But 방법, and then 나를 잊지 않는, not forgetting me. So this is the way to not forget me. 나를 잊지 않는 방법. So that's what it roughly translates to. Heart of Woman, Lost in Proof. This is going to be an interesting debut because, one, I was pulling up the video, and so I heard like the first 2 seconds, and the percussion pattern on that was really interesting. Already piqued my interest. Two, from what I've seen, just from my patrons talking about it, it seems like people are really in love with their musicality and their sound. So that's really awesome. I don't know in what regard, so that'll be a surprise. But people seem to really think that their music and the color of their music is cool, and so I'm interested to see what that's like. As well as even the name itself, Heart of Woman. It's a very, I don't know. It's got a bit of a sass to it. Even like the Korean title, 나를 잊지 않는 방법, is like a very older way of like Korean track titling. It's a lot more simple nowadays. But 나를 잊지 않는 방법, there's a little bit of a sass to it. Heart of Woman has a bit of like a, I don't know. It's got a certain tone to it. Lost in Proof as well. They've got a little bit of a something to it. It's on the tip of my brain, and I feel like if I go ahead and watch and listen to this, I'll get a better idea of what it's nagging at. And then another aspect that's interesting is the fact that they've debuted with a full studio album. Now, I have no idea what their sound even is, but I've already committed to doing a listening party for it because that's just interesting as shit. Most groups do not even debut with an EP anymore. Sometimes they do, but a lot of groups nowadays debut with a single. But traditionally, groups debuted with an EP or a single. The studio album debut is a pretty rare thing, especially for a group. A soloist might do it, but even for them, that's pretty rare. This tells me a couple things. Tells me that the producers or whoever is putting the group together is confident in the group's chemistry, has a vision for them, or is confident in their sound. Most K-pop groups find their sound over several different comebacks. Most companies really just put together several trainees who might have some chemistry, or several talented trainees who have some chemistry, and they kind of figure it out as they go. Very few companies actually go in launched with, a set sound and a set concept. Typically, you're going to have to be a bigger label. If you're from one of the bigger prominent labels, they typically launch you with the sound because they had the money and the time to figure out your color and do all of that. Smaller labels, groups like this, I don't even know what label they're from. I'll look that up later. Smaller labels typically do not do that. They kind of just figure it out as they go. So that'll be interesting. With that in mind, I will be doing a listening party for their album. That'll be out, I think, next week, actually. So if you want to check that out, come visit our Patreon, patreon.com/formatherapy. I do bonus reactions over there just for listening parties or pretty much anything I can't post here due to copyright. So if you want to see my reactions to, K dramas, animes, live stage reactions, or other variety content, head on over to the Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel. But with that in mind, let's check out the music video first. This is Heart of Woman, aka Lost in Proof, 나를 잊지 않는 방법. Let's go. Huh.
I can't find a way. 제목은 없었지. 뻔하지 않게 넘어야 했어. 억지로 날 버티며 나를 속이고 추억이라 불러. 과거 속을 헤집고 다녀. 엇갈린 가사 본 적 없는 장면 속에서.
What is that melody?
리듬을 춤을 추었지.
Where do I know that from? What? Hey! Wait a minute. Yo, what archive did they pull this out from? That's like a first, second gen K-pop chorus. That shot right there is from like a first gen K-pop music video. What is happening? This pre-chorus melody is killing me. I swear I've heard this. Whoa! Whoa! They've perfectly modernized the first gen K-pop song. Holy shit. A whole bridge and a whole final chorus. Some ad-libs in there too. It was a little bit buried in the mix, so it was kind of hard to hear, but there's definitely some ad-libbing in there. Oh, damn, that was under 3 minutes. Oh, wow, and they gave us a bridge and a final chorus. Okay. Blue Brown Records. Never heard of them. I will be looking into them. Wow. Okay. That's shocking. Wow. Geez. Never. I don't want to say never. As Justin Bieber always says, never say never. But never in my gosh darn life would I thought like they would perfectly modernize first gen K-pop music. This is like late first gen, early second gen K-pop girl group music. What I mean by that is K-pop girl group music back then of that era, first off, were more framed as women. They did less cute stuff. And it was less sparkly, pretty, and youthful. I would say K-pop back then was kind of like very men and very women. Kind of like young adults, but they all definitely looked older, both in the casting process and in the musical process of things. But musically, this reminds me of kind of like... Ooh, I'm thinking it kind of reminds me of like my older Korean fans out there who remembers Baby Vox, who remembers jewelry. I would say this is giving like peak jewelry vibes. If you're unfamiliar with jewelry, so jewelry, well, never found international and global success in the way that modern K-pop groups do. Jewelry was one of, if not for a moment, the biggest K-pop girl group at the time in the Korean domestic music scene. And I would say Jewelry's music defined what K-pop music was. And I would say that style of music, that Baby Box, Ihyori, Jewelry, that style of music, which was it was very passion driven. So this is we're talking right now the early aughts, the early 2000s and the mid 2000s. Music was very passion driven and it was very soulful. It was little and it had a little bit of a romantic R&B twist. So definitely a lot of guitars, a lot of an R&B element, a lot of a borrowing, of course, from American music culture too. Girl groups back then were less like young girl groups now. It was less like, well, these look like young girls, but they were more modeled after. I would say they were more modeled after feeling like kind of like a Destiny's Child sort of unit formation, or the kind of music they put out was like if Britney Spears' music was in a whole group, you know, or if Christina Aguilera's music was in a whole group. And I think that era of Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera are also great examples of the kind of music that era of K-pop sounded like. It was very just like diva pop, and R&B was kind of the niche back then. This, I would say, rather than leaning kind of that Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera pop vibe, I would say this, as much as it leans like that jewelry and Baby Vox sort of vibe, I would say it also is leaning heavily into the American aughts R&B stuff. It's, you know, especially the name like Heart of Woman, Lost in Proof. Like it's giving me like, it's giving me like early Beyonce, Ciara, Amory, Missy Elliott's sort of like, that could be like their album name, Heart of Woman, or like one of their songs, like one of the tracks is called Lost in Proof. Like it's giving that very heavily. And I would say musically, it sounds like a marriage of those things, which is so cool. It's my favorite era of K-pop. My favorite era of K-pop is that specific sect of the early aughts when second gen K-pop was kind of in like a very dance heavy and club heavy mode without sounding like dance music. It sounded like this. It was very soulful, it was very passionate. It was at the height of, I would say, like the height of a lot of dancing soloists. I think soloists were very big at the time. Rain, Chang Woo-hyuk, Seven, Lee-jung of the types, Ihyori. And so K-pop really changed. I would say you could credit a lot of it to SNSD. SNSD really ushered in, I think, a change in a wave of how we viewed girl group music. Girl group music back then, it was very passionate, very sexy. It was very just stylish. And then SNSD really introduced ushered in the era of what it means to be a more youthful, more pure young girl. And then other groups around that time, like Wonder Girls and stuff, like Wonder Girls and SNSD, I would say, really started pushing more youthful K-pop. But before that, it was a little bit more like this. So it's nice to see this style back in, I don't know if it's back in vogue necessarily, but back on the scene, and not just inspired too, you know. I would say Islet's most recent venture into techno is that was like modern K-pop sounding a little bit retro. Like it had techno, but I would say like I would not call that still a first gen K-pop song. That is still, I think, a very fifth gen K-pop song with techno elements. Turns out I was not the only one who, when listening to that song, thought of "Wa" by Lee Jung-yeon, who was a first gen techno star. But it still doesn't sound like that. It still doesn't have like the romanticism of that era, and so it's still very fifth gen coded. This one is actually straight up first gen songwriting style, like everything about it. Like I would say the only thing different is the instruments are actually crisp and updated, right? Rather than having like the basically the mixing is better rather than having like these very muffled mixed instruments. The mixing is a lot cleaner. The instruments are a lot cleaner. I think the kicks are just a little bit snappier. Like snappy kicks was definitely like a big part of this era, but I feel like there's some really fun, interesting stuff in there that I didn't hear back then, but has definitely been more been done in modern era. So slight like updates in like kind of like the style, but I would say it actually still very much sounds very faithful to that time and era. So that was shocking. That was shocking to hear. That was really, really good. I would like to see if there's any info on Blue Brown Records. Give me a sec. Oh, wow. Looking into it, Blue Brown Records was co-founded by Lee Sung, the late Lee Sung. Lee Sung was a fantastic R&B soloist. One of my favorite K-pop songs of all time is actually from Hisung. It's a bit of like a techno R&B song. It's actually it's not even like it's a remake he did of a Craig David song called Insomnia. But wow, that was unexpected, but also kind of makes a lot of sense in how just like soulful it is. Hisung was a notable figure in R&B in Korea. Also had a moniker, called himself the Real Slow. Wow, that's actually surprising. That's really, really shocking. I grew up listening to Hisung here and there. Liked him as a teenager, and wow, I don't want to say it's like his group. I don't know how directly involved he was. I just only like briskly read some of the stuff in that. So the project started based on his suggestion, and he more so founded the direction of the label. And so, yeah, it's his influence is more so less into the group itself, but kind of bled into the label, and that in and of itself produced this group. So that is fantastic. With that information in mind, let's go ahead and check out this music video one more time. I was quite distracted by the song, I will admit. All I remember about the music video was that it was quite stylish. I think it mixed between CG and practical sets, as well as some dramatic, really, really dramatic, stylish lighting, some stylish shot design, as well as some throwback first gen type of K-pop shots. So let's check it out.
제목은 없었지 뻔하지 않게 넘어야 했어 억지로 날 붙이나 나를 속이고 추억이라 불러 과거 속을 헤집고 다녀 엇갈린 가사 본 적 없는 장르 속에서 서로 다른 리듬을 춤을 추었지 어떤 마지막.
Okay, before we get into that incredible pre-chorus, so as I said, mix of practical and CG. This is all CG background, but they are filming on, I believe, like that might be practical dirt. They might have mixed in some dirt. Interesting. So the way they play with lighting right here. Notice how, one thing I also really love is their transitions are really smooth. Their video transitions from one scene to another. So we'll check out a few of them but instead of just hard cutting to another member, we have this member. We're going to move to the next member, but as she turns, so that's a physical actor related or talent motivated transition. So she turns, then it cuts. So the transition feels more natural. So we're getting this tracking shot. And now we have this lighting on her, but as we switch focus from her to the new subject, the lighting's going to dim on her as a new subject comes into focus. So it's like almost like a baton pass. So then we cut into, it's still her shot and we're following her from the front. But what doesn't break this sort of immersion is the fact that you see the other member still in the shot. She's posed like hell of a diva, but she's still in the shot. And then the transition right here is these sort of dust taking over in the foreground. And then the dust is the linking shot in this. And then right here, as she says, digging through the past again, she turns. Once again, the light turns off. And on that turn, the new member turns into camera to do basically like a match cut. That is such a great like sequence and series of events. She's going to transition then into the next member by throwing the camera up into the stars. But that, like, this music video is as smooth as the song is. So that's why there, I feel like, is this great harmony between the music video and the song. Now, this melody is hella bugging me. When I was looking at Blue Brown Records, I also looked into the track information for this. It's not listed, but I swear to God, this either has to be an interpolation or a sample of something, because this melody is, I swear to God, I've heard this before. Na, 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 na. And listen, I know there are only so many chords within pop music and you can repeat it, blah, 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 blah. Swear to God, this is more than just like, oh, it's a common pop chord. No, it's the na 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 is directly reminding me of something. It's so I don't know. The moment I heard it, it like triggered something in me. What a dramatic shot. Crazy chorus. Crazy hook. Also, love the little set design here of like the lights scattered throughout, and then you see like the little white pieces. Because in the beginning of the video, you see like the meteor or the asteroid or whatever, like it breaks, and then like you have like the asteroid pieces falling to Earth, and so it looks like it's kind of like the leftovers of that, but they're like glowing because they're using light sources. That's really clever. Great shot design. So many moments of this music video, they just look like stylish editorials from like a fashion magazine. So that's always gonna be great eye candy, rather than just like eye candy shots, rather than just beauty glamour shots of them just like looking at the camera. This is what we would call shot design. And so the shot design really elevates it more than just blatant fan service or like looking pretty in front of the camera. It really comes off more artistic that way. even like the cool silhouette shots and like the way the use of these like ugly washed out factorial buildings having this monochromatic look is really really cool, especially for this silhouette shot. Ooh. So that light ball was like the next transition. Love that. I love that she's not just even walking through the hall. It's it's the little elements of like the obviously it's CG, but like the almost like the pipes are bursting as she's walking by. It's those little elements that kind of do a little bit of extra world building. It fills in the shots. If you notice this shot of her right here, there's a lot of negative space taking up. So it just adds like extra particles to the shot that makes it feel like it has more depth rather than it feeling like a flat shot. But it also just like really makes the video kind of pop a little bit more. It's like just a little icing. So that's fantastic. So this is some of the shots that I was talking about where I just remember the video being very stylish. Once again, just very stylish and excellent editorial shot design. Something I really like is they do a lot of practical camera movements here. So there was some in the beginning of the video. Here as well, we start in the group and then we slowly just back out to reveal her. So then this shot as well. This shot is really cool. This shot is, I think if you're a second gen fan, they did this up till like second gen music videos. Where this is the classic, it was the classic K-pop music video look. Now, K-pop did not invent this look. In fact, this look was it was very popular in the late 90s. I think it was popularized by American R&B or hip hop. I can't cite which started it for sure, but American R&B and hip hop both use this. So, you know, any of like the artists I noted before might have had shots like this. K-pop definitely took with this and ran with it, but especially for K-pop groups. This became a staple of K-pop groups in first gen and second gen where you're up close. Sometimes they might vary it up with like a fisheye lens, so it's a little bit warped. The whole point is that you can see the ring light in the you're supposed to see the light source in the reflection of their eyes. That's kind of like the whole catch of this shot. And so people would, you know, perform to the camera. You know, if it was like a K-pop hip hop song, they perform erratically in front of the camera. And it's also meant to be like a little overexposed and like almost like really blowing out shadows and details on your face. So it gives you like this really soft look, which would then influence more of K-pop fashion, especially the there was something called the arjang trend in K-pop, and I feel like a lot of the lighting aesthetics from arjang started here. Why the cat? This is also very early K-pop. The underlighting is something that you do not see as much in K-pop anymore. The straight underlighting. This was I mentioned jewelry back then. Jewelry's music videos had this kind of style a lot. Early second gen and definitely first gen K-pop music videos had a lot of underlighting. It's a dramatic form of lighting. We don't light music videos like this anymore because you lose a lot of detail. It's pretty harsh, but they did it here, and it's just it only feeds into the throwback aspect of it all even more. I think she's my favorite. I still don't understand the concept of the music video. I mean, it's something astral related. You know, they're at like this satellite station right here. Stuff crashes to the earth. It becomes some kind of like guiding ball in light. Eventually, when we get to the burst of the song, or like the bridge of the song, it, it reverses and like as they sort of figure things out in the song, the lights all are also start ascending, so like maybe all the broken pieces are uplifting itself, especially with the song about loving oneself. Maybe it's the aspect of picking one's broken pieces up and then kind of I don't know, like coming up from it, lifting oneself up from it. um but other than that, I don't follow the music video narrative that deeply, but I guess I don't have to because it's a beautiful music video. Lot of dramatic lighting, a lot of really really cool dramatic lighting that I think makes the music video feel more like a force of nature than anything. I think the last time a music video had this level of awe for me, I would say, and they use a lot of practical sets here too, but it would be when I saw Everglow's Dun Dun music video. Everglow's Dun Dun music video is a music video I think that invokes a lot of awe, but I think this is another one that invokes a sense of awe that I have not seen in or felt in quite a while. And it's done through, I would say, a lot of dramatic lighting. It's done through a lot of utilizing angles and focuses that make the girls look and feel powerful, makes them feel larger than life, which again is the point of the song. The point of the song is them coming into their own and learning to love oneself, or realizing that they've loved themselves all along. And the shots in the music video, whether it's like the shots where they get really up close, whether it's like these stylish shots where the angles or where the lenses are much wider and they place the subject right above you, or they place the subjects off to the side. The whole point is to always make the girls look larger than life. And so this is a music video that I think really invokes that awe really well through camera tricks. And so it's really, really good music video. It's also a really, really, really good song. This is fantastic. I am going to give the album a listen. And I think this song did what every title track song should do and needs to do, which makes the listener go, not just, oh, this song is great, but makes them go, I need to go listen to this album, because that is ultimately the point. It's your song can chart all you want. That does not matter. You need to sell albums. And so this one kind of did that for me, where it just said, hey, I need to go listen to this album. So I'll be doing that over on our Patreon. That listening party is going to be out next week. But guys, I'm going to wrap up my reaction right there. Thank you for tuning in to my reaction to Heart of Woman's Lost in Proof. Really enjoyed and loved that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the group's debut as well as the song. With that in mind, as I said, I'll be doing a listening party for Heart of Woman's Lost in Proof. If you want to check that out, go ahead and visit our Patreon, patreon.com/formatherapy. Listening party will be out next week, and I can't wait. I'm already so excited after hearing this. You also can check out our calendar on our front page. You don't have to make an account or sign up, but you can see all the other videos that I have released and will be releasing this month for our Patreon. It's a very listening party heavy month. So if you're a multi-stan, it's a great month for all the album listenings that we're doing. Of course, we do K-drama and anime reactions as well, if that's of any interest. If not, you can always just simply like our video down below over here. It's a free way to support the channel, and I would appreciate it if you're new to the channel, subscribe over here. Go ahead and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload a new video. You can check out my other videos in the upper hand corners, and that's going to be it for me. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in another video some other time. Bye, guys.